Hey guys, Steve here, Wilderness 333, and today I want to talk a little bit about making feather sticks with the serrated portion of your knives. A lot of times in the knife world, in the knife communities, the serrations on a blade kind of get a pretty bad rap. Serrations here, being this front part right here, I don't want to touch it too much or I'll cut myself, but oftentimes people prefer no serrations and just have the entire blade be the normal sharpened part. And over time, I've kind of learned to appreciate, because I've done that a lot as well. A lot of my blades don't have the serrations. But when it comes to feather sticks, I've found that you can get a finer shave often with the serrated part of your blade instead of just the flat blade itself. And why that is really important, and I get a lot of questions on this, is people are trying to start fires using ferro rods and sparks. With straight natural material, not using any cotton balls and Vaseline, not using anything manufactured. I love that stuff. I carry them all the time and I prefer to use them, but it's really good to be able to light a fire without anything with just a ferrocerium rod. So often I've found that you really need to get those fine shavings, or it's going to be a lot harder to start it by yourself with just the spark. However, the more I messed around with and Evan was showing me this too, but the more I mess around with the serrations, I find that often you can get a finer shaving. Even in some of my finer blades, this is my Mora companion knife, and it's a fine blade, but I often can't get as fine of shavings on my feather stick as I'd like. So I'm going to make some feather sticks using the serrations. Maybe I'll even make some using this, and we'll see. Is one easier than the other? Just start straight with a ferrocerium rod. So let's take a look and see what happens. Okay, so let's try it. I'm going to start with my Mora knife. And obviously, if you're making feather sticks, I recommend a lot of practice. And when you're getting those fine shavings, you want to go as light as possible and still have it feather up. So you're going to need to practice a lot. And see, what I tend to find happens is a little bit too much of the width of this blade cuts in, and I'm getting sort of a wider piece than I want and not as fine. Kind of one thing I keep doing is, as you cut, you keep kind of going to the edges of your wood, because every cut you make is making another edge. So you keep rotating it. You're digging in. And there you go. Hopefully that's in focus. That's pretty fine. That's a decent feather stick. I don't mind. And it would really, it would suffice in many situations. But let's try the serrated knives. So next, I'm going to use, here I've got, this is the Flash 2 SOG. Very sharp serrations. See what happens. And honestly, right away, I'm getting finer stuff. This isn't the best piece of wood. It's causing me some issues. Man, I don't know how well that is in focus, but I'm getting much finer stuff. Taking light glances than I was with the other blade. You start getting those really kind of short, really round pieces, and those are really going to light easy. Man, I don't know if you can see that, but you've just got a lot of super fine stuff in there. Much finer than this other one. If you're looking side by side. Pretty huge difference. Pretty huge difference. Alright, I'm going to try one more with this Kershaw. See what we can get. Man, again, just getting a finer take on it. freak of the week. That's awesome, dude. That's almost Evan quality. It's almost Evan quality. But that is a great feather stick right there. So, man, moral of the story here, if you're having trouble getting a feather stick, man, try a serrated part of your knife or try a different knife. There's no way I'm gonna get, I don't think, unless, and maybe it's technique, it could easily be and I need to get better, but I'm not gonna be getting this fine of stuff with just a companion knife. I'm getting a great feather stick, but I'm getting a better one with serrated. Whoa. Okay, let's put it to the test. Let's see if I can light it with the ferro rod. Often I just like to brace it in there. It's always kind of nerve-wracking doing this on video because it can go well or it can go poorly, that's for sure. And right now it's going poorly. See if I can brace it. If you can brace it on the wood, all the better. I've just about got it in there. Let's try from here. There we go. Lit up just like that. Maybe took a few more strikes than I wanted it to, but man, that really fine stuff just goes up super fast. So, there's that. Maybe we'll try another one here. Again, this is the one that I did with the SOG. And that's super fine right in there. Oh, I had it. I had flint. There you go. There you go. 5 or 6 strikes. I do prefer bracing it and taking it down as opposed to pulling, but I've got videos on that. Okay, so I don't know how this is all going to turn out on the editing floor, but I did a couple tests there. I tested 2 feather sticks that I had made with the serrated blade, and I did get them to light fairly easily just off the ferro rod, using, not using anything but natural tinders. And I did another one, and man, there's just such a huge difference. That's just a really fine feather stick. This is from the serrations of that Kershaw, and I'm sure I'm going to be able to get this to light with the spark. This one is what I did with the straight or the flat part, the non-serrated part of that blade. And I don't know if you can see the difference, but there's a huge difference there. These are much finer and gonna light easier. The one I did with the Mora knife, it lit as well, but in my experience, they don't light as well. So if you're having trouble with your feather sticks, and some people had written me, and even having trouble getting something to light off natural tinder without using anything man-made, man, try a serrated part of a blade. If you've got a serrated blade, give it a shot. And practice a little bit. You're going lighter, but you're going to be able to find, I think, you can get much finer stuff. It's not that there aren't any exceptions to this or anything, but hey, Jack, I think it's going to work really well to use the serrated blade. So that's a little shout out to serrations, because sometimes I think they take a bad rap, but they can work well and serve you pretty well in making feather sticks. And getting those fine shavings is important. So I'm gonna light a fire here and have some fun. So I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll be back again soon.